Welcome back, Post-Pollock viewers. Dave Epstein coming to you from the Post-Pollock firm here in Roseland, New Jersey. Here today to show you a video that is just horrific, what happened here. Disturbing, the legal implications I'm not sure of because it happened in Brazil. Let's watch this story and I'll give you my thoughts on it.
Okay, this next story is absolutely insane. And I would use the word baffling because how is this something that is possible of happening? So a woman in her 20s in Brazil died yesterday after workers at a bungee jumping spot forgot to attach her cord. Yes, I said forgot.
Forgot.
What? I've never heard of something like this. So this happened on Saturday morning at a place called Skeleton Bridge in Sao Paulo, and the videos show two of the crew. They lift this woman above their heads, as I imagine they do with all of their bungee jumpers, and only after throwing her off the bridge did they realize, they forgot something pretty damn important. You literally had one job, literally. And I mean, the tragic part is that you don't survive something like that. That's 40 meters down. And when emergency services arrived, they confirmed that the woman, Maria Eduarda, she died at the scene. Only in her 20s. That is goddamn. To make it even sadder, first responders said that her fiance was at the bridge and he had to be taken for medical care after he found out that she had died. Also, another crazy point, although I haven't been able to verify this point specifically, some local media outlets were reporting that right before she jumped, she posted on her social media joking, quote, "Who was the crazy person who let me come jump off a bridge?" Now, 6 people connected to the event have now been detained, and local media report that 2 suspects fled the scene and had to be tracked down in a nearby forest with a police helicopter. So as soon as that happens and you realize that you clocked what just happened, you know that this is not going to end well for you. Oh, and just to make the whole situation even crazier, civil police are now investigating whether this even gets classed as a crime, because apparently they're unsure if this can even be classed as negligence, because this was a totally unregulated setup on a bridge that's been abandoned for decades. Nothing official about it, not an official business that has employees and blah, 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 and people were still lining up to use it. Wild.
Well, that's mind-blowing, folks. I mean, dumb doesn't quite capture what I just saw there. And I don't quite understand Brazilian law. I know if that happened in New Jersey, people would be charged with criminally negligent homicide. I don't care if they're professionals or not. They would be charged for that, for throwing her off without making sure that the rope was attached. But I understand that these guys were for hire. In other words, they had a company, whether it was registered with the Brazilian officials or not. I believe, as I understand the story, she was paying them to take her bungee jumping off this abandoned bridge. That, to me, is criminally negligent homicide. It doesn't get any more negligent than that. I mean, throwing somebody off the bridge, if you're trained or even if you're not trained, the first thing you do is make sure that that bungee is attached. Of course, I don't do crazy crap like that. I mean, to me, God bless you. Go out, bungee jump your faces off. But I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Good reason why not to. Civilly, they could be held civilly liable. It would really be to her estate. She could actually have a claim that survives her death, meaning the last few seconds of her life being in terror, realizing that she was not stopping. But her estate, her family members could bring a wrongful death action. Again, in New Jersey and in most of the U.S., I don't know how Brazilian law works. If they don't consider this to be negligent, to me, it doesn't matter whether they were in a business, whether they were registered as a business or a commercial enterprise. They were throwing somebody off a bridge. If I do that even with friends, it's negligence, gross negligence, almost reckless. It might even warrant punitive damages. It's so reckless. It's grossly, malignantly negligent. So this poor young lady is dead. Her boyfriend, who I hope he wasn't the one who talked her into going going bungee jumping because the poor guy will never get over it. He had to be taken away just because he was a wreck from finding out his girlfriend, his fiance, had died. Let's put it this way. If you're going to do things like this, bungee jumping, zip lining, parachuting, skydiving, I guess I should call it, find out who you're doing it with and find out a little bit about that activity, these ultra dangerous activities, because this is a good example of how somebody who really does not follow any rules or does not have any safety protocols can really give you a bad day. I can't imagine what it was like when that girl realized that there is no rope attached. I guess they could say, oh, she was negligent too, but you can imagine that moment before you're going to bungee jump, she's probably nervous and she doesn't know what's going on and so on and so forth. Somebody apparently, as she was being thrown off the bridge, or right after they threw her, they yelled, oh wait, the rope. All of them, all the guys who took part in this, all the people who took part in this should be charged with some sort of homicide. They don't ask me down in Brazil, so I have no say, but this was criminally negligent, and I hope that nobody else does this or has this sort of thing happen. But again, be careful before you get involved in things like this, folks, because you don't know if the people know what they're doing or whether they're ready for it that day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Please hit like and subscribe. Please leave your comments. Love reading them. This is Dave Epstein signing off for the Post Pollock firm in Roseland. See you next time. Bye-bye.